Hey guys, my name is Cassandra. Welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you all about the book The 3 R's by Ruth Beechick. And this is sort of a reading guide or curriculum, reading and math for ages kindergarten to grade 3, but it talks about earlier than kindergarten as well. So this is for someone who is minimalistic in their homeschooling, who wants a really simple approach, who doesn't want to spend a lot of money, and who is maybe feeling overwhelmed by all of the choices out there, all the reading curriculums, all the math curriculums, and you just want something simple to teach your child to read. So I'll be giving you a little review of this and also a little synopsis. Just, I know it's a really thin, small book, but you know, just to give you an idea of what's in there and just to see if it will be a fit for you and your family. It just comes with this book, and in the back of the book was this little chart, which I've used lots of times. It comes in really handy. So you've got your numbers 1 to 100 chart, and it just gives you some activity ideas at the bottom here. But this at the back has been super helpful as well, this consonant chart, to know which consonants to kind of start with that have one sound, and then maybe moving into ones that have more than one sound, consonant pairs. That was super helpful, as well as a little chart over here, which is all about your vowels and when consonants can be used as vowels. So all you need for this curriculum is just this book and the chart that comes with it. And I can't remember how much this was, but it was fairly inexpensive. And I'm here in Canada, so I think I got it off of Amazon, but I'll definitely link it down below for you if it's something that you decide you want to check out. So it really is one of the easiest instruction guides possible to teach your child reading. So she recommends and cautions not to try to move your child too quickly. So don't try to speed them through these steps. There are 5 steps to reading. And just to take your time and follow your child's learning curve and how they're learning and how much they're interested, and don't push it. I think sometimes people are scared if they're not at the school level, you know, the school age and what they're supposed to be doing in school, that it's a problem, but it isn't. So we're going to get into the 5 steps, which are pre-reading. I'm just looking at my notes here. Beginning, blending, decoding, and fluency. Now these are just the reading steps. Again, in this there's reading, writing, and arithmetic. So basically it gives you an argument on using a morning basket. That's how I interpreted it anyway. It's, you know, focusing on arts, on literature, you know, God, learning about people, all those sort of pre-reading things, basically to give your child knowledge. And the more you read, the more your child is exposed to different vocabulary, and that will help when they are learning to read. Also, she focuses a lot on informal teaching and how that is helpful. And that's obviously a great way to learn things, is just by living your lifestyle, and they pick up a lot of things through that. So she says to basically listen and observe your child, and then set out what she calls trial balloons to know when to kind of go to each step. So when you notice that their interest is there and that they are ready for the next step, then you go to it. So she actually says don't bother to teach the letter names. Start with the letter sounds because they're more important and we use them more. They will easily pick up the letter sounds from friends, from TV shows, from, you know, whatever it is. So she's not as worried about teaching the letter sounds. And she says start with words of interest. So for example, your child will probably want to learn their name as one of the first things that they learn how to spell and write and read. And so start with that and go from there. She gives you all sorts of practical ideas to go along with each of her things. So she'll say, this is what you can do. Here's some different ways to do it. So it's actually super helpful. So she says to sort of teach the letter forms. Don't worry so much about the size, the straightness, or whatever when you're, you know, teaching the letters in the beginning. But she gives you some activities in order to teach a few different consonants and vowels. So a lot of the programs will either start at A, go through A, all the way to Z, Z. Like, listen to me, I'm a Canadian, I'm saying Z. Anyways, A to Z. She does it a different way and says just start with a couple of different letters. Again, working from those words that they have interest in. So step 3, blending. So you teach a few of the short vowel sounds, and then she said A is a good one to start with because it's used 70% of the time, which is cool. She gives you little statistics like that, which I really like. She gives you a way you can sort of chart the letters and teach them to blend. It's very cool. And again, she reiterates not to rush, don't bribe them. And again, going back to those morning basket concepts always. She is big on having them write every day to practice. She says, make sure you end the lesson always with success. So if they get something wrong, make sure you end with them getting something right so that they can feel good and feel successful at the end of the day. When running into phonics trouble, she says that you could teach a syllable or a word at hand. So she says actually to ditch a lot of the phonics rules that are commonly taught because they don't work half the time and they're confusing. I should just say right now, I am still planning on buying a phonics program and a math program only because I'm so passionate about curriculum and I want to try out different things. But I honestly believe it is not necessary. If this is all I had, I would be okay. I'm just excited for, you know, the worksheets and the fun things for them to do. And for me, I need a focus. Like I'm not good at sitting down every day and just working with Alice on the letters. I guess, but if I have a program, I know I'm way more likely to do it. I don't know. I just like the organization of it. It's just something that I feel like she'll enjoy, and definitely this can work all on its own. So she does give you some sight words, and the list is actually very small. She recommends this is really all you need because, again, she gives you some statistic like this is, say, 80% of the word. And she also gives you some spelling rules that actually make sense. And when I read a couple of them, I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't they teach me that in school? So step 5 is fluency. And she says to basically just read, and books at their reading level, not books that are harder. You want them to feel successful and be able to, get through a book and feel good. She says, she gives statistics. I think it's like they need to be able to, if they get a certain percentage of words wrong, then the book is too hard kind of thing. But she says you really don't compare to other children because your child is, of course, unique and learning at their own pace, and that is just fine. So she says to never say a book is too easy. Like, don't go to the library, have them choose a book and say, oh, you can't choose that one because it's too easy. Because she's like, think about when we read for relaxation, we are not reading a book that is challenging us and, you know, that we have to look every word up in the dictionary and always. Sometimes we read books that are relaxing to us. That's fine. Kids need to read those kind of things and feel relaxed too. And that's how they learn to enjoy reading. I think too often we are pushing them to do more when, instead of just letting them enjoy the experience of reading. So that was one of the main things I got out of this that I was like, yeah, that makes sense, and that's awesome. So the next section is going to be writing. Again, she's like every day, and she says to do copy work, to dictate, to compare, and to repeat. I really like the idea of a grateful journal. I saw this on Heather Torres. I don't know. I'll link it down below. Her channel, she has her child do 3 things she's grateful for every day as copy work right first thing in their school day. And so they have to come up with the 3 things and then copy them down into a gratitude journal. A good way to do scripture memorization, is to use it as copy work. You can do poems, stuff like that. She also suggests to not teach grammar until like really old. I can't remember exactly the age, but that they will learn it naturally through just like speaking the language, a lot of the important things that they need to know. Of course, you can do things to form a sentence, like, you know, they need to know about periods and exclamation marks and things like that, but she's talking about the, you know, noun, verb, that kind of thing. Wait on that, she suggests, because there's just more important things. And again, you want them to love it in the beginning. You don't want to teach them all these things and then have them be like, I hate reading, or have it, you know. So I really like those things where she's just like narrowing down, like, here's all these things that are in writing programs that are taught in school, blah, blah, blah. Here's the important things. Here you go. They're this big, right? I really love that part of the book. Then she talks about spelling in particular. And she says they'll learn naturally, but it's more of those like observing and being with them. And so say you notice they spell something wrong, you can take that and have them use it as copy work the next day to try to learn how to properly spell it, or, you know, have them write it down a few times or whatever. Just, you'll naturally find those spelling words based on what they're already writing. So you don't need, you know, some kind of spelling program that's going to be a set, you know, 1,000 most commonly used words, and those are going to be your spelling lists. Just observe and go by what they're writing and correct as necessary. And then she again gives you some really good spelling words. I have on page 60 here. Oh, this is what I was trying to find before. These are amazing. So a good spelling rule she gives as an example is drop a silent E before endings which start with a vowel, but keep the silent E before endings which start with a consonant. So I thought that's really good, right? And so she gives you actual good spelling rules that you can teach. So she gives you a little lesson here of what you could do. And so here's the little piece of this is Jack Sprat, and then she says, gives you some prompting questions. What makes these lines look like a poem? Which two lines are indented? Write all the lines from dictation or from memory and compare yours to the model. Did you make it look like a poem? Did you spell all the words right? Right? It's really, really good. I liked that one. And that's how they just are in here. Really, really well done. So the last part is the arithmetic part, and she really highly suggests not testing until 3rd grade and to teach with manipulatives until much older than you think you should. Basically, she says when they put down the manipulatives, that's when it's time to put down the manipulatives, because she talks about the way your child's sort of brain develops and why they are necessary for so long and why they will really help and make a strong foundation for math. Basically, I'm going to sum this up. She gives some really good ideas. She highly focuses on games. So you game schoolers, it's a really, really good way to learn arithmetic. Games like dominoes, bingo, to read the letters or the numbers 1 to 100. But she actually gives you specific little bullet points you can cover for each grade. So you've got 3rd grade here. She tells you everything you need to teach, and 3rd grade is, I think, like 6 pages long. And that literally, okay, not 6 pages. 3rd grade's a little more intense, It's actually 8.5 pages, 6.5 pages, sorry. And that literally does give you everything you would need to teach for that year and how you can go about it. And it's mostly just games and just everyday stuff. So anyway, highly, highly, highly recommend this one. So glad it was recommended to me. It is an amazing way to at least get started with reading and writing and arithmetic. So hope that you guys liked this video. Let me know in the comments below if this is something that you have used before and if you loved it. And let me know if there's any curriculum you're interested in me reviewing for you. I'm definitely going to be picking up quite a few things for this year. I am very excited. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to give this a thumbs up and subscribe, and make sure you ring that bell beside the notification button, because I do different types of videos, and so you may only want to see certain things, but YouTube will not recommend them all to you if you don't hit that bell to all. So make sure you do that, and I will see you guys in the next video.